There's something special about Dulungra Public School in northern New South Wales. It's not the tennis court or the view, but if you look up in a tree at the right time, you might just figure it out for yourself.
I just thought it was amazing. It was like this big fluffy ball in a tree, and their tummy looks like a sheep's tummy.
Koalas are a part of everyday life for the 26 students here.
We found some at least over there, and then we found some over there, and then we found some walking over there.
We've seen a couple of babies around here, and there was one time, I think it was during the athletics carnival or something, a koala ran through the school with a baby on its back. It was like the baby was, the koala was its horse and the baby was riding it. It was like its mighty steed.
People in town say the local koala population is thriving, but after years of ongoing drought, the trees they rely on haven't fared as well.
If we have a look just around our school grounds, just outside our school grounds, there were probably 14 trees within 100 metre radius, like 100 metres from the school grounds that died. And so what that's actually done is cut off some of the corridors the koalas use to get through to the township of Dulungra, because the whole strips of trees were killed, died during the drought.
The trees in town might have been disappearing, but within the school, they were still being cared for. The koalas quickly took notice.
Some of the koalas would stay in the school and they wouldn't move very far at all from the school, because we had probably about 10 watering stations around our school that the kids kept clean and made sure that the koalas had water.
The school's now taking the bold move to install a greenhouse to grow new trees to be planted in and around the township to try and give the koalas a fighting chance.
And so we're going to try and plant seedlings and get them to grow, so then we can donate them to other people so they can plant them around their home. And maybe, just maybe, koalas might come and live around there, and we're trying to rebuild their habitat.
But for the students, it's not just about koalas. Teachers at the school have used the greenhouse as an opportunity to teach the kids about the entire landscape and how to manage it for the future. The living classroom in the nearby town of Bingra is an environmental education space where kids can learn about the world around them and, of course, get their hands a bit dirty. Rick Hutton manages the 150-hectare country classroom. He says that saving koalas alone isn't exactly an effective approach to environmental regeneration, but he agrees that having the animals symbolise something greater is a good first step for the kids in Dulungra.
The more we can respect it as a symbol and other plants and animals as also symbols and necessary in our agriculture and in our culture, in our urban environments as well as in our rural environments, the more we can do that, the more respect that we can get from our children for it, the more enthusiasm they will have for being stewards of the land, and I think safer our future. They're in safe hands when our kids come away from these days enthusiastic and caring.
To cap it all off, the kids take their first step towards building the future, one tree at a time.
I really do think that we're all part of a team that it is all together, and we're doing something. Like, it feels really good to just do something and not just stand there and go, oh, the koala, it's so bad, the koalas, and just do something. It's just good to do something about it.
The challenges facing koalas spread far further than towns like Dulungra, though. To the south, Gunnedah bills itself as the country's koala capital. Environmental consultant John Lemon has been researching koalas here for decades. He tracks their movements across the region and helped install water drinkers to get them through the latest drought. But their numbers are still in serious decline.
So from 2009, 2019, 20, Most researchers estimate that we've lost about 50% of the population in the Gunnedah Basin. Anecdotally, and my observations would indicate it's higher. It's probably somewhere between 70 and 75% loss in a decade, and that's really, really concerning.
This joey lost its mum to a car accident not too far from Dalungra. It's now being cared for by a local wildlife carer. As if crossing the road wasn't dangerous enough, a warming climate and rampant disease are mounting threats for the species.
What happens when koalas are stressed, chlamydia, which is endemic, presents itself, they just die. It's terrible. So consequently, stress is often induced by climate change, extremes of heat, and lack of water in the leaves, less access to nutrient in the leaves.
It's hard to tell exactly how many trees were lost during the latest drought.
When the drought was at its worst, I think that in some of the rocky ridges, we've lost in excess of 50% of the stringy barks and some of the eucalypt species, as well as other species. No one, to my knowledge, and that's just from drought, not from bushfires, to my knowledge, there hasn't been much on-ground work to determine how many trees we've lost out of the landscape.
Step by step, things have finally kicked off at the greenhouse in Dalungra, but it's time to take things up a gear. Local land services have come to help the kids cultivate their first batch of trees.
So you just empty it off, and then where would we store it?
In a cool place.
In a cool place, under your house, eh?
It'll be some time before the kids here see their hard work pay off, but it's an investment the school's excited to make nonetheless.
Teaching is a privilege with kids, and it's so great to be able to give them the gift of actually believing that they have power to change things. So they have hope. They can, whatever they set their mind to, they can change. We're only a small school, but we can empower our local community to save the koalas. That's a pretty important thing. And if they can take that message to other parts of their life, they can, if they want to change something, they can. It's just by, even how small you are, it doesn't matter. You can, every individual counts.
We say it's like basically our little secret emblem. It's like our little school emblem, basically. It's our representative of the school. We feel a big responsibility to try and keep them alive and keep them safe.